Hello YouTubers. Kind of finally got my head gasket for the lawnmower. Ta-da! Finally got it. Got it yesterday, but I was having problems with my back, so it didn't get done yesterday. So we're going to kind of put this together this morning before we go to a movie. Flo and I are going to a movie this morning. Fork and screen, be like that. Sit down and eat, watch a movie. This is kind of my, I guess I would say it, my Frankenstein mower. I'll have to explain that a little bit maybe on the next video after I get things put around, put better. So I got some rubbing alcohol here. I'm going to wipe down the top surface here, get the oil off it, there's any oil in here. And then I got this all cleaned up and cross-hatched and piston back up there. I lapped in the valves, cleaned those up good. So actually this thing came out pretty clean. Got to get myself some red paint. I don't know what caused this to peel off, but so we're going to try to get this thing all together and see if we can get it started and finally get it to run right. This is the evil Troy belt. Gives me problems. But yeah, I got that one done and that one's ready to roll. And these are both free. But just took a while, more work on this one than I really wanted to do. But hey, I did it, and I'm thinking that it's going to work fine. So let me get it together, get some oil in it, and I'll tape this when I start it, and hopefully it doesn't throw a rod. Okay, alright, see ya, bye. Alrighty, got gas in it, got oil in it, got everything put together. The mailman. Always in a hurry. And we'll see how it starts, my little Frankenstein motor. So let me get it all in. We'll see what happens. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. Still fighting me. Still fighting me. Where's my starting fluid? There it is. We're going to make it start.
The mower's running. I let it run for about 5-10 minutes. About 5 minutes. Didn't see any leaks yet, but I let it sit for a while. Still hard starting. Maybe that was just contributed to me just starting it up and getting the carburetor primed. I don't know. I hope so. Let me grab the head gasket. I'll show you. I did a closer inspection of the head gasket, and when it was shipped through the U.S. Postal Service, it got bent right here. Big bend right in it. So this gasket is, and it's cracked too. So instead of waiting for another one, I knew I had good compression and good head on the 97, so I took the 97 head gasket. I didn't want to do it, but I looked at it, cleaned it up, put it on this one, torqued it on, and fired it up. So everything's Frankenstein on this motor. So we're gonna go to the store. We're gonna go to our show. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna do another cold start. See if this thing starts better. If it starts better, I fixed it right. If not, I don't know. The only thing I haven't changed on it was the gas line. I was just thinking about that. The only thing I've never changed on it, especially like the little green machine there that I worked on. I need to change the gas line on it just to do it right. But it's the only thing I haven't changed. Changed the carburetor, I changed the primer. I still couldn't get it to start right. But then again, that was before I tore it apart. The valves were just, there was no lash on the valves. They were bottomed out on top of the lifters, so they weren't adjusted right. So we'll see. We're gonna fire it up after the movie, and hopefully it starts right up. And hopefully it's not raining. If not, I'm gonna pull it right out here outside the door and fire it up just to see that it works. All right. I'll see you after the movie. Bye. Alright, back from the movie. Let's see if it'll start. It's been sitting for 4 hours. Well, it didn't start easy, so maybe I need to pump it 4 times before I start it. So we'll try that again tomorrow morning. Hello, YouTubers. It's Sunday. I'm going to start this Troy build up here in a few minutes, but I guess to kind of recap what I've done on this Troy build, I probably should have done some things a little different. Probably should have used a little bit more of my fundamentals on this mower. When it wasn't starting right, I should have went and checked the timing, which the shear pin on top of the flywheel was bent, so that threw the timing off, so that's why it wouldn't start right. And then the valve, there was no valve lash, no gap in between the valves, so the valves were hanging open a little bit. That might have been probably, could have been part of the problem why I wasn't getting a good compression. But when I took the head off and I saw the valves were that way, and I had this other engine that I know had good compression, I know it has good rings, so I took apart the 04 and I took the rings off the 97 that I had sitting here and put those rings on the piston of the 04. just to make sure. I mean, if I thought about it, I would have left it in the mower, and when I checked those valve clearance, I could have just did the valves right. I didn't have to take it off the deck. I could have lapped the valves in, set the air gap. I think it was 5 thousandths to 7 thousandths on the exhaust, and I think it was 5 to 8 or something, or 7 to 8, or 7 to 9 or something on the other side. I could have set that on there, put the old head gasket on it, fired it up, and then seen if I had good compression. But I tore it all apart. I decided just to take it apart, put it up on the bench. It's easier on my back if I do it that way. It doesn't make much sense, you know. I gotta take it from the ground, put it up so I could work on it. So I had it apart. I wanted to see what was going on the inside, so I knocked the piston out, put the piston rings on there from the other one. It's too bad I had to reuse the head gasket, but it seems to work okay. On these, like my Green Machine lawn tractor, I let them run for 5 minutes, shut it off, let it cool down, start it up for another 5 minutes, shut it off, let it cool down, and then the next day I'll run this one for 10 minutes. This morning after I get started, shut it off. Later on this afternoon I'll start it up and run it for another 10 minutes. Just to get that, I want to get that rings to seat on the new cylinder, whether they're brand new rings or kind of my Frankenstein, taking rings from one mower and put them in another mower piston and into a completely different bore. They still have to seat. So this is part of the seating procedure for me, is 5 minutes cool, 5 minutes cool, 10 minutes cool, another 10 minutes cool, and then hopefully by maybe Monday or Tuesday I'll be able to start this thing out and go cut some grass with it and put a little bit of a load on it and see how that's going to work. I think it's going to work fine. I'm surprised I looked at my footage when I started this thing up, it didn't smoke right away. Because usually when you use that assembly lube like I use, it kind of smokes a little bit, but maybe that's a good thing. So I'm going to try to start this, and I think I'm going to go for the 4 pumps. I kind of went 2 the other day, yesterday, and then it wouldn't start, and then I gave it a couple more primers, and then after a couple pulls it started right up. So hopefully today, when I prime it 4 times, it should start up in the first 2 pulls. But let's see. All right, and to get you out there where you can see what I'm doing. Okay. All right. Fingers crossed. Okay, I'm going to let it run 10 minutes and then I'll come back. Alrighty, well, it started. Let me move this thing out here a little bit. Okay, better. Started 6 primers. I started out with 4, and you can see just after 2 or 3 pulls it wouldn't start, so I gave it a couple more shots, and it started up, you know. That's going to be a little bit hard starting, I think, probably until we get the motor broke in. I'm always going to start out with 4 primers. I don't want to flood it. So we'll see how that works. Once I get a starting procedure down and once I get it broke in, then it may be, you know, 5, 6 pumps to start it every time. We'll see. So it's running. I'm not going to jinx myself, but I think I've got done. We'll see. Get it all together and get it broke in and see how it cuts the grass and how everything works. This thing has tricked me before. So hopefully this will be the last video on this one until I sell it next year. Alright, this is Selling Guy 60. Don't forget to subscribe. That way I know that you care. There are a few things you're going to probably see, videos I've shot that I'm going to erase from my Selling Guy 60. One is the easy cart. Doesn't seem like anybody really cares. I liked it. It was a nice project, but sometimes I like things that maybe other people don't. Seems like it's been a little bit over a year, and a lot of people like my videos on the refrigerators. I've gotten my biggest hits on the refrigerators videos and the appliance videos, so I guess that shows the people who make them that you need to make a better product. So, okay, I'll catch you later. Bye. Alrighty. Cutting like a charm, no surging. Everything works fine. Woohoo! It's a win-win.